This is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Jam DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
no evil shall escape my sight,
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
GreenLantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, the master of the chord is...
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And I should say that the spirit of redemption. That's right, kids, because tonight we're going to cover JLA, Spectre, Soul War 1 and 2. So, are you going to get Kal Rayner or are you going to get Hal Jordan? You're going to get both!
Oh, and you get some characters nobody's ever heard of, Batman.
I was going to say, never fear, Ray. You got plenty of Batman this week.
Batman, my favorite character.
Plenty of Batman. All right, so before we jump in, I don't think we have any... Fortunately, I don't think we have any new Green Lantern news.
No, nothing.
Nada. No merch, no nothing.
You got some cool stuff popping up behind you, though.
Oh, yes. If everyone can see Galactus's big head past my big head, yes, I got that on sale at the last FYE in existence at my local mall for $20. Yes. Again, I had to have it. Almost walked right past it, and I was like, I was with my son. I was like, no, we got to go in. I got to look. I'm glad I did.
And it was very fortunate that you did.
I know. You were like, you saved money. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, but now I'm just like, I need Funkos of the entire Fantastic Four to put around him and stage a fight scene.
Perfect.
Little Funko Reed Richards, the ultimate nullifier.
Perfect.
Did you notice? I think it was supposed to be back last night, but they pushed Quantum Leap back another week.
Yeah, it was. We were looking for it this morning because we usually watch it tonight, since it's on. We stream it, and it wasn't there. We're like, what the heck?
Yeah, I know.
We watched an old episode, but
yeah, they didn't air it. But I think I saw. It might have been on Twitter or something. I think they said, they moved it, pushed it back a week, but now we're gonna get like 6 weeks in a row of new episodes. So.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah. But
does that take us to the end of the season?
I don't know, maybe. Because I was going to say, people were saying online, it's like, we were at like episode 13 or something. This is like the third break they've taken or something.
Yeah, and there's only going to be 18 episodes for this season, so it may finish it on out.
Let's see. Hold on, let me look this up. 1, 2. Yeah, it looks like it might be the rest of the season. So when it comes back next week, that should be nonstop to the end of the season.
Cool.
Oh, the final episode of the season, titled Judgment Day.
Ah.
Oh,
there was this little known franchise that debuted a new series last week as well. I think maybe you've heard of it. Star Trek, Picard.
Indeed I have. Yes, season 3. So did you watch the first episode?
Yes, indeed. I thought it was very, very good.
Yes. Just coincidentally, yes. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it's already up. So check out Capes and Lunatics episode 290. I'm going to get to talk to Mr. Todd Stashwick, who is appearing on this season. And by the time you hear it, we'll probably be talking about episodes 1 and 2. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So what did you think of the first episode?
I thought it was really good. And that new captain is a foil for them.
Oh yeah, Todd himself. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
I thought that was an interesting. Things did not go the way they expected them to, and we caught up with the with the characters from last season that are going to be returning. Rafi, and we get to see Seven. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really strong first episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I have a hunch, and I could be wrong because I don't know anything, but I get the feeling that they're going to structure it kind of like, maybe each episode is going to bring one of the new cast back in, one or two, slow. They're going to they're not getting everybody together immediately.
Not until then at the end we'll have everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I think that's really smart too. They're building to something.
Yes. Okay. I didn't want to say it, but I forgot. But yes, Todd Stashwick is playing Captain Liam Shaw,
who's a bit of a foil for John, Luke, and Riker.
But again, I mean, I was trying to think of this. So is this going to be like a red herring where it's just like, yeah, no, he's not like an enemy, but it's just like, I mean, look at it from his perspective. This this old admiral comes aboard, could be suffering from dementia. Yeah, let's go way off course, right? Let's leave Federation space. It's like, oh, even him, he's like, yeah, we're not going to do like you boys usually do and crash starships. Yeah.
Now they did. The writers do make him come off as a little bit, biased against, Borg, because. So that's, Jean-Luc and, Seven as well. So,
but again,
he's not.
Yeah,
he's written to be antagonistic to him.
Oh
and
yeah,
I think
definitely.
He pulled it off really well.
Yes. But did you? But the one character, was she an ensign? The one who played Geordie's daughter. That's LeVar Burton's real daughter.
Oh, that's awesome!
I
did not know that.
So his daughter's playing his daughter. Yes,
that's cool.
Yeah, so there should be some good chemistry in those scenes, because
and so should we the spoilers? If you don't want to know what happened in the first episode of season 3 of Picard, you should probably stop listening now, because as soon as he appeared, we're like, oh, we know who that is. Apparently, Dr. Crusher has another son who is about 20. And that's apparently when she stopped communicating with everybody aboard the Enterprise at that point, 20 years ago, for no reason. Nobody knows why.
So yes, children. Yes, children. Jean-Luc Picard boldly went.
We don't know if it's Picard's son, but hey.
No, the math works out.
The math works. The math does work.
She's like, I don't want him to tell this kid to shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure we're going to get an appearance by her other son.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he made a quick cameo last season, yes, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward. I think it's been a really, really strong start.
Oh yeah, and him and Jonathan Frakes have, Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes always had like the good back and forth. But yeah, I can't wait for them all to come in. But yeah, it's probably going to be a slow torture, like you said. It's just one at a time, bringing them in.
Yep.
And who's on that ship at the end?
Exactly. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And I think, this being the final season, there's only 10 episodes. So, 9 episodes to go.
And I swear, I saw a preview. I swear to God, it looked like Brent Spiner came in, and they're like, "Wait, who?" And I swear, someone went Lore, even though he looks old. But I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. Hey, Data. Data's gone on to meet his. Well, he met his maker a long time ago, but you know what I mean. And so we know we know Brent Spiner's going to be there. We just don't know who he's going to be playing. So.
Yeah, because we can't. Yeah, because it's not possible that Data's memory or mind is backed up somewhere. No, of course not.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have backups in the future? I mean, come on.
I mean, didn't they have B4 in a drawer? I mean, all you gotta do is download Data's mind into there. Come on, or Lore.
Yeah.
Or if they find a way to put him in a human body, that's the fun. That's the end of the journey. All right.
Just the opposite of Picard.
And supposedly this is their final journey. Does everyone get out alive?
I don't know. Part of me says I don't think so.
Ooh.
I mean, I think it maybe makes sense for one or two characters not to survive.
All right, here's my thought. What if Picard doesn't make it out? Because at the beginning of the episode, he's he's like, box up that painting, send it to, did he say to Geordi or something? So, he's already like kind of distributing some of his earthly possessions. Is it just like, oh yeah, he wanted you to have this,
I think, I don't think he'll make it out. And then I think another character potentially won't make it out as well. But I'm not going to mention who that is. I may mention that offline to you later. Just
okay. I thought he was going to wait till the season's over and be like, "Yep, I knew it.
I called it.
I didn't say it, but I knew it."
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
I mean, I could certainly be wrong, and I don't want to derail the discussion further because we've got comics to talk about.
Oh, he has two oversized Hal Jordan comics to talk about, kids. I know. He wants to get to that Batman talk, kids.
That's right.
Batman, my favorite character. Into the Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
All right, so I don't think I have big synopses for these, but that's all right. Let's jump in. I didn't realize we were talking so long. I think we like Picard, kids.
Before you do the intro,
yes.
Overall, what was your take on these?
I couldn't remember if I'd read these before. I had not read these before. This is interesting because I was like, was this always meant to be a 2-issue prestige format thing, or was this going to be like part of the Spectre series? Do you think?
I don't feel like it was going to be part of the Spectre series because these came out. The last issue of the Spectre was 27, and that was May of 2003. And these came out March and April of 2003.
And I mean, unless were they just like, oh, hey, a couple months before we're canceling the series, and then like save that JLA storyline and we'll put it somewhere else.
I mean, we had a great art. I mean, Daryl Banks was doing the art.
Oh yeah,
was, a nice surprise because I didn't remember that. But I don't know. It felt like it was let's do the summaries and then we'll dig in. Sorry.
All right. Like I said, the summaries aren't big, but yeah, let's all right. JLA Spectre Soul War #1, January 2003. Title just Soul War. Writer, I already played it, but friend of the show, J.M. DeMatteis.
This is J.M. DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Penciler, friend of the show, Daryl Banks.
Yeah.
Inker Paul Neary.
Ooh, superstar inker Paul Neary. That's awesome.
Yes. Colorist Carla Feeney and Heroic Age. Letterer Ken Lopez, and editors Dan Raspler and Valerie D'Orazio. The Spectre warns the JLA that the Trans has invaded Earth. The Spectre merges with the JLA to create a mega-powerful Spectre. They fight the Trans and theorize that it is something invading from a psychic plane. The JLA and the Spectre once again join together psychically by being killed by the Spectre. Talk about your cliffhanger. Alright. I was gonna say, did you want to do the, talk about the first one before we get to the second one, or?
That's up to you. What do you want to do, man?
I mean, yeah, we can't. Did it strike you as odd, or it's just like, I mean, as petty as he seems, I kind of get how Batman doesn't trust Hal Jordan, but it's like when they're all merged together, it's like Batman doesn't want to let John Jones take the controls. I'm like, don't you you trust him, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Or Kyle ultimately.
Yeah, but that first one, it's like Martian Manhunter trying to take control. I'm like, you trust him, right?
Yeah, this was really kind of a build-up of Batman.
Yes,
and most
of
it,
I found most of it. Yeah, most of it was just, I don't trust you, Jordan.
So and don't get me wrong, I love J.M. DeMatteis' work.
Oh yes,
but this felt, I don't know, the threat never felt concrete. It was all, there was so much of this that happened on another plane or in another, psychically, or the Soul War, or whatever you want to call it, that I don't know. It just, it didn't feel as well, and honestly, it didn't feel as strong as some of the Spectre issues either.
Yeah. Well, one, do you think it's kind of like, you're trying to make the threat so big and so nebulous, especially because you are facing the Spectre and the JLA?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Well, and I think we saw this too, in the Spectre series when, he was dealing with Sinestro. The series didn't seem to hit the high notes that it had hit, when he wasn't dealing with Legacy and the, mainstream DC Universe stuff. And I feel like that's maybe pulling this down a little bit, because I really feel like the great things that worked with the Spectre had nothing, virtually nothing to do with the DC Universe, right?
Yeah.
The mainstream superhero universe. But, the art was great. I mean, the story is good.
Yes.
Because, of course, who's writing it. But, I don't know, it just, I don't feel like it was as good as some of the individual Spectre issues that we got.
Yeah. Again, is it just like it's almost like a JLA story, but we're kind of like forcing this. I wonder, and then too, that was going to be my other point. Do you think was there editorial stuff here? Was it just like, was this going to be more of a straight up Spectre story, or were they like, no, add like the JLA or somebody in, or
I don't know, and there seems to be that overabundance of Batman. I mean, and I really felt like that was at the cost of a lot of the other Justice League. I mean, Wonder Woman barely has anything to do in this. Aquaman barely has anything to do with
Flash.
The Flash. Plastic Man got a few moments, right?
Mm-hmm. Basically comic relief, yeah.
Yeah, but, it was Hal, Superman.
Hal and Batman were the big ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
After those two, Superman and Martian Manhunter?
Yeah.
Because Cal doesn't even get a lot except for that one point where,
he's in charge, but then it's the Batman show after that. So, I don't know. And I feel like that is, well, one, by the end, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like that the relationship between Batman and Hal has been repaired.
Yes.
Right? Which is not what we see the next time we see them again.
Yeah, well, Rebirth, different writer, and like I said, I think in Rebirth, which we'll get to, Batman's basically like, I think Batman's used as the plot device where, oh hey, not everyone's going to forgive Hal so easily and forgive and forget,
Mm-hmm. So, the trans, existing outside of time, and there's a point where they've already won, but all
at the end,
the same to them, and they have to be on their guard. I mean,
But meanwhile, we've never seen them again. I don't
think. One of the things that this did bring to mind a little bit was JLA Heaven's Ladder by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch, to me, which I think has some similar themes about, the Justice League coming together. Now, it obviously dealt with in very different ways. I just, some of the metaphysical stuff, I think, just fell a little bit flat for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's still a really good story, but...
Okay, here's a question. Do you think this story would have been better, especially the trans, if this had been a straight-up Spectre story, no JLA? You'd have same page count, you have more room to flesh out the trans and what it is and the threat it poses. And
I think it would have been dealt with a lot differently
if it was more a one-on-one, just them and Hal versus Hal.
Yeah. But, I mean, part of the overarching theme was them coming together and inspiring humanity to come together and be better than the trans. So, which is a very unfortunate name for bad guys, by the way. True. I don't know. The art was beautiful. The story was good. It's just, I feel like the quality of the Spectre series itself was so high, and this, while good, didn't meet that really high level of quality that we came to expect from that series. So it's, I don't know, a lot of, and maybe I think it boils down to the Justice League is more a forget the Spectre for a second, is more a science fiction type concept. The heroes, even though Princess Diana is from Paradise Island and all those, they punch robots and stop invasions and do science fiction-y things, right? Aquaman lives underwater, and the Martian Manhunter's an alien from Mars, and Batman is Batman, right? I struggle with that concept merging with what the Spectre was at that time, being very not science fiction, being a lot more metaphysical, being, so different than, a traditional superhero comic.
Yeah, do you? Is it just the mixing of the Spectre's metaphysical? Like you're saying, the Spectre's metaphysical and the JLA more science fiction. Is that the clashing genres? I
think it clashes a little bit for me, but again, DeMatteis pulls it off.
Oh yeah.
It's a really good story, but
there wasn't a lot for like you were saying. There isn't a lot for a lot of these characters to do. Especially when Batman's hogging the spotlight.
Yeah. And, there was really no lead up to this, outside of this title. And there's really no repercussions from this title. So it's just this kind of weird little island all its own that, it probably hasn't been referred to in a story, since. So, it's a little disappointing, which, and that disappoints me about the Spectre series as well, because, so much of that has been, just outright ignored from a continuity standpoint and just character development and all that. So, this is like I said, the art. Darryl Banks does a great job, and Paul Neary makes him look fabulous.
It looks beautiful. Yeah.
And the colors are awesome. Yeah. It's a beautiful book, and it's a really good story.
That's what I'm wondering too. Was this always a prestige format? Like I was saying, 2 issues, or was it supposed to be like 5 or 6 issue things in someone's book, JLA, Spectre? Because it does happen. Because I know when I talked to Ron Friends, I don't know if you ever read it, or like the Spider-Man, the 2-issue Amazing Spider-Man in the 80s where he like fights Firelord.
Oh, yeah.
That 2 issues. That was supposed to be one story in an annual originally.
Oh, okay.
So it happened. So that's what I'm saying. Was this supposed to be many more regular issues spread out somewhere? Or?
If we look at it, though, is there a midpoint in the first issue where a natural break would be? And I don't know that there is.
Yeah, but it's J.M. DeMatteis. I don't see him just throwing it into a different format. He'd be polishing it up the rough edges, and yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. It is kind of a strange artifact because it's not 3 issues.
Yes,
it's not 4 issues or 5 or 6 or 12 or 10. It's 2. And they're oversized issues.
There is so much content out there. I hope I'm not asking too much, but Mr. J.M. DeMatteis, can you join me and whoever weekly to talk about stuff you do? Because you've done so much stuff, and we have so many questions.
Yeah, there's so many great stories by him.
God, I would love to do that. Just like once a week, be like, JM, come on, talk to us. You pick which of your books, or if you want me to pick, I'll pick. We'll do Spider-Man this week. We'll do Spectre this week. We'll do Justice League this.
Well, and it's interesting. Maybe that was the real point of this, was to repair that relationship, right, between Hal and Batman.
I would hope so, because kids, I am a huge Batman fan. I do a Batman podcast with Little Hellfire, and even I was like, wow, this is a lot of Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Perhaps because DeMatteis is such a good writer that, maybe what he gave the other characters was all he was allowed to give the other characters.
Oh, maybe.
Right? That's potentially a likely scenario. We don't know, but and again, since you're doing the prestige format, is it just like
they don't, maybe the editor or somebody didn't want it nailed down anywhere in continuity, so it's just like, oh, it takes place sometime while Hal's the Spectre. Because we don't know when, because it's like there's no Helen, we have no idea.
Yeah. We have we could time it to when, the membership of the JLA.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that actually ties back into the Spectre, because in the late issues of the Spectre, you had the JLA show up for for Helen's birthday.
True.
Which had Zariel and different team.
I'd say the only point of continuity in this is Cal is wearing the new suit.
Yes, good point. Very good point. Yeah. So, we know when it was released, and we know that the Spectre series ended essentially a month after this was released, right? Yeah. Or that was the cover date. It could have actually ended right before this.
Yeah.
So, actually, I can. You know what? Let me see if it has its on sale date on here. Hang on.
I mean, it probably takes place when it went on sale, but they just don't want it to be like, oh, hey, I don't want kids to be able to say, oh, this takes place between JLA.
Yeah, so the Spectre was, the last issue of Spectre number 27, was on sale March 5th of 2003. JLA Spectre number 1 was on sale January 22nd of 2003. So it was a couple months.
Like 2 months before? Oh.
And then the final issue was 2/26 of 2000. So yeah, 1 month before the Spectre's final issue. Well, 2 weeks before the Spectre's final issue. So interesting.
Yeah.
But, it also has not been collected.
Well, we're used to that with, DeMatteis' Hal Jordan Spectre, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this is one of those things you could throw in that omnibus, DC.
Oh, true. Yeah. What is it, like an extra 100 pages? Because, weren't these like around 50 pages a piece or something?
Yeah, there was a lot of, let's see, how many pages was it?
I was just looking up what was on sale, what JLA issues were around this time.
48 pages.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because when I read on the app, I think it counted like the cover and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so 48, yeah. This was around the end of the Obsidian Age in JLA, so.
Oh, because there was a mention of Batman, keeping secret files on them with ways to kill them.
Oh yeah, This was because that was what, late 40s. Yeah, this was around JLA 75. So that's all been done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The early 2000s.
Oh yeah. You said Batman. I was about to say who?
Batman.
Who?
My favorite character.
I hope so, Ray. Again, the Frank Miller effect, man. Batman has just gotten more paranoid as time has gone on.
Well, I don't think we got that, and I'll be honest, I don't think we got much of that Batman while Grant Morrison was writing the series.
No, yeah, he was more, I mean, he wasn't paranoid, he was just more unprepared for anything,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bat God.
Exactly.
More Bat God, not Bat Dick, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, should I do the synopsis for the second issue?
Let's roll into that, man. Why not?
All right. So JLA Spectre Soul War number 2, February 2003. Same team. All right. The now dead JLA passes through the imaginal realm, the collective consciousness of humankind, in an attempt to fight the trans. There they find that the trans has taken over the imaginal realm and is now the imaginal realm itself. Thanks to humanity's thoughts towards the superheroes, the JLA wins, but then they disappear. A trans-controlled Rachel DiCarlo has unplugged the machines sustaining the JLA's bodies. In a selfless act, the Spectre sacrifices himself to revive the JLA and becomes stuck in a non-dimension. Luckily, with the trans defeated, a now free Rachel DiCarlo is able to focus the JLA's psychic energy and bring the Spectre back.
Which we got a nice recreation of the first
JLA
JSA. Yeah.
With the crystal ball. Yeah.
Is that number 23, I think, of Justice League?
Something like that. It was 20-something. Yeah. Yeah, I did notice that, and I was like, "Oh, I see what you did there."
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
I wonder if J.M.D. Mateus came up with that, or was that Daryl Banks? Let's do this.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but what did you think about the trans taking it, like using the psychics and?
Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting, but we never really see.
It really does. Nothing really gets done with it except for when she unplugs those machines. Yeah,
I mean, and we see that she's all right, but then there's 5 others of them that were floating around the Earth. That then are they dead now? I mean, what happened to them? You know, we don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
Batman and Hal shake hands. So
yes. But what did you think when they're trapped in like their own little dream worlds and Hal's like back in the plane? You know, before Green Lanterns and all that, and he's just
flying, being a jet jockey, right?
But
I mean, and we only really got to see glimpses of, you know, one panel of Aquaman, one panel of Superman on Krypton. You know, we didn't really get to see a lot of those things for each of the JLA. You know,
yeah,
it was just kind of some quick things.
I don't know. The few times we actually did get Aquaman speaking, he was kind of in Batman's camp. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know if we can trust this Hal Jordan."
Yeah, he's cranky, you know.
Oh yeah, he's whole can Peter David Aquaman. Yeah,
yeah.
I'd expect nothing less. But of course, yes, all the superhumans are getting taken over. But of course, Batman's strength of will.
Yeah, for a character that, you know, whole shtick is willpower, you'd think that might have been Kyle.
You would think,
but
because they even kind of start to do that. You know, when when they merge again, and and Batman's like, "I got a condition," and Hal's like, "Well, let me guess, you're in charge." He's like, "No, Kyle is."
Okay.
Which, I mean, kind of makes sense, because he's like, one, everyone here has history with you. It's like Cal has the least amount of personal history with you. And 2, you know, oh, Batman, if you need taken out, that ring can take you out.
I don't know about that, but okay, Batman, we'll go with that.
I mean, I guess he's saying that's their best shot at taking him out. But and then Batman pulls up Picard, you know, because Cal's like, "Who, me?" He's like, shut up, Cal." How can you support this man, Ray?
Into the Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
I love Batman.
But yeah, most of the second issue takes place in the Imaginal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought we were going to get a big thing with Kyle once he, they're just like, "Oh, put him in charge of the thing." But then, of course, once they separate, it's all Batman. It's all Batman all the time again.
He gets taken out with one of his own constructs.
Yes, because they can control his ring energy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird, but.
And again, forget it's like, he has the willpower and the imagination because he's been using the ring for how long. It's like, again, I guess we're not doing continuity, but it's just like, wasn't too long ago, he was thinking outside the box as Ion. It's like...
Yeah, exactly. It's
Brainwave Jr. all over again.
Yeah. And this could have been written this could have been written before that story finished, right?
True.
So, it's hard to say, ultimately.
Yeah.
But, this is an interesting read from that era, but again, I think I feel like it still suffers from the same thing that the Spectre series suffered from, which is, it's as if it never happened.
Yeah, exactly. None of it's reprinted. Again, I don't know why. And again, I have no proof of this, but all this just smacks of like editorial crap to me, because it's just. Even the Spectre's own series, why wouldn't you promote that in Green Lantern's book? Or, hell, an ad every month. It's like, hey, go check out, the old Green Lantern.
In this series. Yeah, I don't know. It's...
In that one Spectre issue we covered, what was that, last week, when the JLA comes for Helen's birthday, why isn't Cal there?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Or John Stewart.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
was that a thing where like, oh no, we don't want Green Lanterns in his book? It's why?
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah. That just boggles my mind. Wouldn't that help sales?
Who knows? I mean, you would think so, but But this series right here is pretty much it for the Spectre until Rebirth, right? No, there's a JSA.
There is that JSA that we're gonna do. Yeah, I think that's like
Okay.
that might be the week before Rebirth. Let me double check that. But I think it might be the week before Rebirth. But
Gotcha.
yeah, pretty much until the week before Rebirth. Yeah, that's it for the Spectre. So that's the thing. Was it just like were we just kind of putting the Spectre on hold because sales weren't there? And again, if sales aren't there, it's because they didn't promote the damn thing.
Because it was a great book.
Again, but
It really was.
after like the first couple issues, I don't remember them. I didn't know if the Spectre book was still going or not. I don't remember hearing about these 2 issues.
Mhm.
And I was reading JLA.
At the time.
Yes. So I don't think they really promoted this because I was reading JLA month to month, and I don't remember hearing about this.
I don't know.
Unless they just weren't promoting anything really good at that point. I don't know. Watch, they were probably promoting Batman, who doesn't need promotion.
I agree with that.
I mean, there's always going to be an audience for a Batman book. I mean,
just because DC used to be called Detective Comics doesn't mean that you only can publish Batman, okay? It does not mean that. You can publish other things too.
Trust me.
Lantern.
Even if someone has never read a comic book, never gone to the movies, they're going to walk into a shop and say, hey, do you have Batman, Superman, Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless someone's living in the middle of the Amazon rainforest and has never encountered civilization, show me a human being on this planet who doesn't know Batman.
Yeah.
Or Superman. Even in some of those way off places, they know who Batman is.
Batman, my favorite character.
You mean like Australia?
Yeah.
Into the Dark Knight, don't get much
further than that. I mean, unless you're going to New Zealand or something. But, yeah. I said movies. I did see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania this weekend.
Is that good?
Oh yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know what these reviewers were talking about.
So no Quasar?
No.
Okay.
Can I give you a MODOK? With an MCU twist, which I won't spoil.
Okay. I'll look forward to seeing that.
Oh, but Jonathan Majors as Kang, excellent, very good.
Kang has always been a top tier villain of the Avenger or antagonist, because there's certainly villainous things about him, but there's also non-villainous things, certain heroic things about him too.
And it's an MCU movie, so I'm sure I'll tell you stay for the mid-credit and after-credit scenes.
Excellent. I mean, they are making their moves, I assume, toward a Young Avengers. We've already got potentially a Stature, potentially the twins.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch's twins, yeah. Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop is there, so yeah, I mean...
that'll
happen.
They had Isaiah Bradley's grandson. I mean,
yeah.
Do we get an Iron Lad? That's another variant of Kang.
That's true. That is very true. And you could even bring back. You could have. Are there 2 Visions now? Are there
one? Yes. I'm trying to remember if there's any. Is it if they do Young Avengers? Yeah. Oh my god, that's what Charlie was saying when we were doing our Quantumania review. He goes, because in the comics, Hulkling's father is Mar-Vell. He's like, what if his mother in the MCU is Carol Danvers?
That could work.
I mean, if we're doing a Young Avengers, are we going to put Miss Marvel in there?
I don't know.
She's young.
Yeah, that would work. I don't know. Interesting.
But anyway, back to your DC content.
Yes. So, no more Spectre until very close to Rebirth.
Yeah. Which isn't that far off, William.
Which isn't that far off. Plus, if I remember correctly, from here on out, it's pretty much straight Green Lantern, except for a quick sideways into Cosmic Odyssey, right?
Yeah, let me pull up the schedule here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, and there's Green Lantern issues that week. Yes, Cosmic Odyssey next week, along with Green Lantern 156 and 157. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, pretty much straight Green Lantern until the week before Rebirth when we do those JSA issues, Except for episode 111 when we do the JLA Avengers crossover.
Oh yes, forgot about that. I almost forgot. That's going to be a good one.
Heck
that
yeah.
is an amazing, awesome book.
Heck yeah. So except for Cosmic Odyssey with the Green Lantern issues next week, and then in 3 weeks when we do the JLA Avengers crossover, yeah, it's pretty much straight Green Lantern until JSA and then Rebirth. So this is episode 108, and Rebirth is 118, right? Yep.
10 weeks.
2.5 months, William. 2.5 months.
Nice.
Damn, I wish I knew how to put a countdown clock on the video. I would leave that up. I would leave that up every minute of every video until we got there. I mean,
well, I do watch a countdown clock for when Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom ships. So I'm not averse to countdown clocks.
Oh, hey, did you see, it's kind of tangentially DC content, but not the next Quantum Leap episode, but the one after. Brandon Routh is going to be in it.
No, I haven't seen that. That's cool.
Yes, I was just reading the description of it when I was looking for the episode count. Yes, he's going to play a naval commander or something in 1989, who also happens to be Addison's father.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I guess Ben's gonna get to meet Daddy. Yes,
he's gonna be Daddy.
I don't know if he's gonna leap into him, because I mean it's Brandon Routh, so yeah, he's probably gonna just be somebody close to him.
Some other character. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm sure Brandon Routh will talk all about his daughter.
Oh, really? You have a daughter? I did not know that. Totally didn't almost marry her.
I will if I ever get back.
Consarn it.
Oh my god, I saw the funniest meme because I was just thinking, what are we on NBC now? Quantum Leap, Night Court. It's no, it's one of those Dr. Manhattan memes. It's like, because did you see? It's 1989. I'm watching Michael Keaton as Batman and Indiana Jones fight Nazis. It is 2023. I'm watching Michael Keaton as Batman and Indiana Jones fighting Nazis.
Hey, always punch Nazis. Always.
I do not like Ezra Miller as the Flash, but I must tell you, I got very excited at that Super Bowl ad when that Batman swoops in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm Batman." And I was like, "Oh, the real Batman's back!" Yay! I guess Affleck's in it too, but I'm just like, "Oh, Michael Keaton,
Batman, my favorite character."
1989. Yeah, actually, I was just chatting with one of the boys about how important the year 1986 was in comics.
Damn!
It's kind of this watershed moment, and also it's a weird kind of watershed moment in history too, because you had Chernobyl happen in '86, which is ultimately what brought down the Soviet Union, because they're spending all that time and effort and resources to turn over like 2 feet deep or a foot deep of soil.
Oh yeah.
For so many thousand square miles, just because of Chernobyl, right? But yeah, 86 is.
Oh yeah, it's a definite point that is line in the sand. Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, yeah.
Crisis,
yeah.
You have Mouse, winning the Pulitzer, I think, in '86.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff that comes out of that, because that's collected editions, that's those didn't happen before '86, right?
But just the stories like those, and even like Alan Moore's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, it's like the definitive line between like the Silver Age and
whatever came next.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like it probably like. Would you say the line between the Golden Age and the Silver Age was Showcase #4 with the first appearance of Barry Allen?
There's that's a good place to start the Silver Age, but that's so early. Because that's what 1958.
I think it's even early. I think it's like 56 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get an appearance, Hal appears in 50...
Is it 59, 58, 59? Yeah.
In Showcase 22. So there's the Silver Age has this kind of slow build, slow burn beginning, I feel like. And, the end of the Golden Age is kind of nebulous. Some people put it at the end of the Justice League's run in All-Star Comics when it became All-Star Western, And some people say, well, no, it actually ended earlier. That was just the last gasp. But, I mean, if you look at Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, they were published all the way through, right? And so there's, I heard a really great definition of the Golden Age. It's like when you were 12 years old. That's the Golden Age. And I'm like, see, when I was 12, that was okay. I'm feeling it. Okay, I'm getting it.
I don't mean to impress you, but if the Golden Age is when you're 12, if you're going by me, it's 1990.
Mine would be 84. So
I was trying to remember, like, what comics came out in 1990 and we're calling the Golden Age.
It's really interesting because we do try to divide these things up, but so much of what we're dealing with, historically speaking, the fall of the Soviet Union, from Chernobyl and all the other things that were going on at the time, and then look at the cultural impact of 5 or 6 comics in 1986, right? Mm-hmm. That led to all kinds of stuff happening. Ultimately, the MCU, right? Because Marvel was, in 1986 they tried the new universe, if I remember correctly. That was the 25th anniversary. But Marvel, they learned lessons from DC about hey, collected editions, and that and the direct market and all those things that happen. It's just really interesting to think of what we would consider small creative decisions, or works of art that are hugely important to us, but maybe the rest of the world didn't know about, that are now influenced the popular culture as a whole, that everybody is soaked in at this point. I just find it fascinating.
Why do I feel like we need to do an episode somewhere where we just talk about this stuff? It's like, when was this? when do you think the Silver Age started? When do you think?
Well, and the metal analogies kind of break down because there was a Bronze Age too, right? The Bronze Age books. I mean, a lot of people put the Silver Age ending with the death of Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man. And some would say, well, maybe it was the non-code approved books that dealt with drug abuse, which would be a Green Lantern issue, and the Amazing Spider-Man issues as well. And some people like to say, well, the Silver Age ended with Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm like, I think that's way too late, because DC was Silver Age as an aesthetic wasn't what we had in DC. From.
I think people like to say Crisis because it's like, they might have done quiet reboots before, but it's like after Crisis, you definitely got a Superman reboot, a Wonder Woman reboot,
and a pseudo Batman reboot.
Kind of, yeah.
Batman, with, I would argue that Batman Year One is the best Batman story. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dark Knight I know is hugely influential, but
oh no, I like Year One better too. Yeah,
I feel like Year One is better because of what the artist brings, and I cannot remember his name right now because I'm an idiot. What is his name?
Mazzucchelli.
Yeah, David Mazzucchelli. Yeah, what Mazzucchelli brings and what Miller brings into what they make together, I feel like is better than either of them could have done on their own. And and Miller was obviously very good on his own if you look at Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
But then there's All-Star Batman and Robin. Miller did.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, that thing he the more he goes, the further he gets off the rails, because it's like Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One, even like Daredevil Born Again, he's fine. But once you get those sequels to Dark Knight Returns, it's like, and then All-Star Batman and Robin, it's just like,
oh yeah. But he's still got a pretty the Daredevil work, an amazing catalog of work that he's produced, for decades now. And that's not been without some misfires.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Year One better. It's very grounded. It's very real. You know, Dark Knight Returns is basically like him at the end of his career. It's basically like, it's going to be a good way to die. Let's make a lot of noise. And, you know.
Yeah, but it was groundbreaking, you know, because he had done, Miller had done Ronin, which was very experimental, that DC had published right before Dark Knight. And, a lot of the Japanese influences, the manga influences, you can see them in Ronin, and you can see what he does. You can also see them in his Daredevil work. Yeah. But you can see what he takes and does, with that in Dark Knight Returns. It's, and Alan Moore writes the foreword to Dark Knight Returns in the collected edition, which is pretty awesome too. So, I mean, there are so many. I mean, Alan Moore is a genius. He just is a genius. And what he's able to do in the comics medium is just spectacular. And I always talk about this. I've probably mentioned it on the show before, but Alan Moore's ABC Comics was him trying to get away from a lot of that darkness that Watchmen and even to a certain extent
The Killing Joke
kind of inspired. So you have Tom Strong. You have the Top 10, which was an amazing series, with Gene Holland art. Tom Strong had Chris Sprouse on art, which was wonderful. You had Tomorrow Stories, which 8-page or more short stories, kind of in an anthology type thing. But then you had Promethea with J.H. Williams III on art, and there's a 2-page spread in an issue of Promethea that is literally genius. It's infinity, right? The infinity symbol. And it's the same two characters at different places following around the infinity, right? Walking around. You can actually enter that conversation at any point, and it makes sense to read it around when you just follow them around. Wherever you start, it makes sense, and wherever it makes sense. I'm like, one, that is a genius use of sequential art, okay, of comics. And two, I sometimes think that's just him showing off, because that's just awesome. Okay. I mean, it is brilliant.
Yeah. Cause you forget the visual. It's like you have to write dialogue that can work at any point.
Yeah. And the visual makes sense because it's a continuous, it's a loop, it's a Mobius strip, so yeah, comics has had a lot of great writers. Neil Gaiman is an amazing writer, but Alan Moore, I feel like he's on another level sometimes.
Well, like I've said, it's like, I don't think we get that a lot in modern comics, and it's no fault of the writers. I think they just pile on so much work on these writers, or it's like they're not paying them enough, so they have to take on extra, but it's they don't give writers, I don't think, time to develop this stuff anymore.
Well, and, I guess that's, I still have my loves. I still buy Green Lantern, and I'll buy a Quasar book, Marvel. If you'll sell one, I'll buy it. But
hell, Marvel, pay this man to write a Quasar book.
But a lot of what I read now is indie comic stuff, because Kickstarter has really energized the indie comics community so that you as a writer or you as an artist can tell the story you want to tell, without, being subject to, it's got to be a monthly book. Well, it doesn't have to be a monthly book. Do a Kickstarter when you have an issue ready, and I really feel like Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general is just kind of I feel like we're living in a golden age of indie comics right now. There's so much creativity and so much great work, being produced with crowdfunding, and that's not just Kickstarter. Kickstarter is the one I'm most familiar with and where I, fund my stuff. But, you have BackerKit doing Kickstarters. You have Zoop. You have Crowdfunder, Indiegogo. There's so many avenues now for creators to get their work out there and, not have to go deeply in debt, sell an organ or something to see that, or a child, to make sure that they can get, their art, their creation out into the world. It's really amazing. Sorry, we got way off topic.
I was going to say, yeah, that's fine, but yeah. All right, so
Thank you, J.M. DeMatteis, for inspiring such wonderful conversation.
that's what I said. We need to do an episode of that somewhere. Just go randomly on comics. All right, so yes. Anything else, William?
You want to see some copies of Crossover Division number 4?
No, I don't care. Yeah, throw them up. Yeah.
Throw them up.
I was gonna say you showed me, but you didn't. I don't think you put them on camera yet. Oh yes,
came in Wednesday, so I'm about maybe 40% done with packing up rewards, and the first time I have ever tried a metal cover.
Ooh,
which is really kind of cool. Don't shoot your eye out. Sorry. But yeah, the issues came in and rewards are starting to go out. I love the fact that these started out in my brain, and here we are months later with a lot of hard work by artist Alice Leclerc, the variant cover artists, the colorist Ryan Kroboth, Brant Fowler, the letterer and designer, editor James Powell. All of us working together, we made this thing that didn't exist before, which is just awesome. So much. It's so cool to get that and have like this thing is real now.
Yes, William. What is it like to have talent? I don't know. Please tell me.
I don't know. I wish I had some.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you don't have talent. Issue 4. I mean, I don't think you'd be at issue 4 if people weren't buying. Come on.
I hope they enjoy it, but it's definitely a team effort.
Sorry, you don't have that many friends who are just going to buy the book because they're your friend. No, that's got to be good. Come on. I love how I give them those backhanded compliments. No, it's your talent. Not that you have friends. It's your talent.
You have no friends.
If you have talent, no friends.
But yeah, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to getting these all. Sorry, I'm gonna go off topic again for a second. Every package that I send out, I'm sending to someone who wants to read the book. And that's just so cool. I'm like, because everybody who backs at a physical level, they get a few things extra in the package. You've seen the letters.
Oh yeah,
put in there that look, have the classified stamp on them and look, like a bureaucracy created them. But everybody that reads Crossover Division, they're reading a book that I probably touched because I'm probably bagged and bordered it, and then I probably put the letter in. I maybe put the stickers and the temporary tattoos in and taped up the package that it is and, sent it out into the world to hopefully be read.
Oh, I'm always excited when I get a new issue in the mail because it's just like, yeah, not only are you getting a good book, yeah, you're getting extras, you're getting these, you're getting
there you go,
bookmarks, something, yeah.
And you know what? That classified stamp, doing that to lots of letters is very soothing for some reason. I don't know why, but it's fun.
Oh, just going
stamp.
Nice.
Stamp. Yes, I'm weird.
Hang these up. All right. Anything else, William?
Nope. That's it, man. I'm done.
Don't mind him, kids. He's been in a room packing boxes all week.
I have been making lots of packages to send out into the world, yes.
All right, kids. So, yes, as we said, next week we're going to be talking Green Lantern 156, 157, and Cosmic Odyssey. So, John Stewart's got a ring back, and we're going to flashback to what happened when DC put poor John through the ring. That time.
Yeah. That time. All right. So, so send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can always find, all of our episodes, the videos, social media, merchandise, I even have a list of all the shows and who's on what. All you got to do is go to our website, tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. And I know that's long, but it's right down there in the show notes, kids. YouTube videos, podcast episodes, and every episode website is in the show notes. And since Will promoted Crossover Division, remember, kids, Capes and Lunatics episode 290. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it's up already. Go listen to me talk to Mr. Todd Stashwick about Picard episode 3. All right.
Now, Will.
Episode 3?
Oh, no, episode 2. Season 3,
Okay.
episode 2. Okay.
I was going to say, episode 3, dude.
I wish. Yes, can you take us forward in time, like 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, 2 weeks or so, yeah, that's cool.
All right, so Will, I know you talked crossover division, but where can tell people where to find it? Tell them with the newsletter, social media.
You can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED at Gmail and Facebook and Twitter and probably Instagram, which I don't think I've ever updated, but it's out there, and maybe some other social media.
You can follow it. He won't see it, but you can follow it.
And if you want to read some of my comics, you can check out Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. Like I said, the 4th issue is being sent out into the world right now. And I also have a book called Diary of Night with artist Gene Gonzalez, and that you can check that out at diaryofnight.com. And Phil is not the only awesome podcaster that I annoy on a weekly basis. I team up with the writer Kevin Joseph of Tart, and what we do is we talk to Kickstarter creators every week who have live campaigns. That's a podcast called Explain Yourself, and it's like I said, we bring a lot of creators on to see what crowdfunding campaigns they've got going on, and why you should take a look at them. And finally, you obviously have great taste because you're here listening to us, which means you surely love Quasar, and as we all do. And if you want to find out more about Quasar, you can do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
And kids, if you subscribe to our Patreon in March, Ray was very interested in this. Yes, we will be doing another episode of the Quantum Zone at the end of March. So, yeah, subscribe to the Patreon. And again,
Nice.
Not only just me and Will, yes, we're pulling Matt Kona out of retirement. So
Nice. It's been a while.
the entire team is going to be back, yes, for a Quantum Zone only on Patreon. So.
At 108 episodes, we have been doing this for 2 years and 4 weeks.
Ooh, math.
That's cool.
I
Very
know.
cool.
This and then, and then the Quantum Zone. It doesn't seem as years and years that we've been doing this, but
Yeah, and I think we've got a little special surprise that we're just going to leave as a special surprise for the final issues of Kyle's run. We've got a little surprise that we're cooking up
oh yes,
before we jump into Rebirth.
Oh, that's right.
I am God.
That's right. That's the surprise. He is gone. All right. Again, thank you for joining us. Next week, Green Lantern 156, 157, and Cosmic Odyssey, which I believe is 4 issues, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Plenty.
Oversized issues.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Plenty to talk about next week, kid. We should be able to stay on topic next week, kid.
I don't know. Maybe.
And Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Ooh, lots of Jon Stewart next week. Yes. All right, kids. Come back next time. And remember, be nice to your friends. Even that guy who's always thinks he's right. Good night. My favorite.
Batman.